Hi guys, so today I wanted to share with you a few strength training definitions that I think may be very useful for you on your fitness journey. So let's start with just a few ones that I found would be useful for you, and we'll go over these in detail, and I will provide with you some links that I think may be helpful to get you started on understanding the basics of strength training and how to train in order to gain muscle. So first I wanted to talk about progressive overload. So, progressive overload refers to a gradual increase of exercise-induced stress over time. You're going to see this definition a lot in fitness books, so I wanted to bring that up so that you understand what it is referring to in text. The second is mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is maximizing muscle growth by increasing tension. This is created by heavy lifting. By the way, these are all definitions from my Fearless Fitness ebook, and I wanted just to explain them in further detail because I wanted to really bring forth attention to these important terms in greater detail. So the next principle is hypertrophy, and I will provide a link to you below about hypertrophy, seeing as though that I have specialized in writing articles regarding it, that I think that is such an important concept to completely understand in order to train to your maximum potential. Hypertrophy refers to exercise-induced. It's an exercise-induced process aimed at increasing muscle mass and reducing fat. So increase in muscle, reduction in fat. Principle of reversibility. Principle of reversibility refers to the idea that once training stops, the results can be completely reversed. So this is something that we would like to avoid. The principle of specificity refers to training that must be goal-specific. Body can and must adjust to meet demands of this particular goal. So the goal should be simple and the goal should be specific. Additionally, the principle of specificity can also describe the fact that if you stop training a particular way or within a particular body part or muscle group, that progress can be completely diminished, along with the principle of reversibility. So this is on page 7 of the ebook. On page 8 we have a few definitions describing the muscle building motion. So we have the concentric, which is the raised portion of the lift where the muscle is shortened. We have the eccentric, which is the lowered portion of the lift where the muscle is lengthened. So you're going to see these terms a lot, whether you're buying programs, whether you're just listening to your influencer talk. If they are qualified, they will be using this terminology. So I just wanted to simplify it for you. So if you can think of a bicep curl, you'll notice that the bicep curl will start at the bottom part. A would be the eccentric here at the bottom. B is the concentric at the top portion of this particular exercise. So now that we have some understanding of some of the terms, I wanted to go into training techniques. This is on page 9, by the way, if you want to keep going further with your education on hypertrophy and muscle building. So I just chose a few types of training techniques that I thought would be very useful or can be used in addition to enhancing your knowledge of this subject of hypertrophy. We have time under tension. What is time under tension? It's a bodybuilding term used to describe the tempo used by lifters to damage the muscle by controlling the movement. For instance, you can apply the TUT, time under tension, technique by focusing on your contraction, extension, and eccentric, shortening phase for a rhythm of 3 seconds. So, how the practical terms, next time you're performing a bicep curl, count to 3 in the shortening phase, pause, count to 1 during the extension. Maintain a tight squeeze throughout the 4 seconds to complete the repetition. Repeat. This is using time under tension in order to facilitate muscle growth. And it is an excellent technique to employ once you get the basics down, meaning once you understand how to correct your form and once you can perform a lift in, let's say, objectively good standards. So just to simplify that idea, which is probably pretty simple for you to understand. Next, we have the rest pause technique. So this essentially means, let's go back to the bicep curl, for instance. Aim for a 1 second rest at the top part of the movement. Pause at the concentric portion of your rep for 1 second. Repeat the movement with a 1 second rest at the top of every rep until the set is finished. So this means essentially, if someone says, like for instance, you're performing a lift and it says squeeze at the top, you're employing the rest pause technique, technically. So yeah, and this can be more than 1 second. You can use this for 30 seconds, for up to 30 seconds, but then it starts going into the iso hold technique, which I will go into details with in another video when I'm giving you advanced techniques to facilitate intense muscle growth. So next we have the mind-muscle connection. I'm sure you've heard of this a lot in a lot of literature regarding fitness. The mind-muscle connection refers to the neural connection between your brain and your muscles. A strong way of connecting your mind to your muscles during an exercise can actually be by simply flexing your muscle at home or by intentionally activating them beforehand during warm-up. Regardless, your mind-muscle connection will become stronger the longer you train. So it's no use to stress out over, is my mind-muscle connection very strong? It's a matter of slowly trying to get inwards, trying to get that focus inwards while you're training. Over time, you'll notice it's as strong as the muscles that you're building, provided you are consistent, of course. Next, we have, as our final technique, we have time under tension in the concentric part of the lift. This technique utilizes the same tempo as the first technique, which if you remember was 3 seconds. This time, however, time your rep to a 1 second concentric and a 3 second eccentric. This technique is also known as a controlled negative. So instead of doing focusing when you're down, 1, 2, 3, up, you're focusing up, 1, 2, 3, down, 1. So it would be like this. And you can even have so I'm going to get into my next point. For best results, this technique is best utilized with the help of a spotter. Have them push your body down for extra resistance during the concentric. This now becomes a forced rep. So I hope that you'll take that you can understand that the terminology here is quite straightforward. There's really no use overthinking the idea of it. And also, as for finding a spotter, you can do this by yourself, this technique by yourself. It doesn't really require somebody else coming in and helping you out. However, if you have a personal trainer near you or a friend of yours, to really get that intensity going, that tension going, you can actually get really good results doing this, using this technique, the last one. So, without further ado, this is it. And I hope that you enjoyed every part of this. So these are all techniques that you could use to enhance your hypertrophy style of training. And I hope that you guys took away from this. I will provide links at the bottom with details to the ebook, with a link to the ebook and more details on each technique. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.